were like 13 to 17 before that deal, that independent deal. Where were you at?
Not come over here and, empower people and bridge the gap and like just kind of like really help make this a worldwide thing.
Everyone here actually is, equally unique as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
I love it.
That's the reason why everybody's just trying to push everything together, because everything is unique.
Yeah, about being students of the game, but also being unapologetically like, fuck you guys, we belong in the game. It's no telling where we're gonna be in the next 1 or 2 years.
What is up, cyberspace? Welcome back to your favorite podcast. This is DOUGBROCK Radio. Napapakinggan at napapanood sa YouTube, Spotify at lahat ng podcast streaming platforms worldwide. Stay on the loop. Subscribe na kayo, DOUGBROCK TV. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, DOUGBROCK TV. And tonight, we have a very special episode. This is something that I really, I've really been looking forward to. Before this day, I came from overseas and, on the flight, I'm so excited to really shoot this. And this guy is an inspiration. He's been here first time for the longest time ever since. He is an artist, an amazing artist, world-class performer. Ladies and gentlemen, cyberspace, Russell. Hey!
Hell yeah.
How are you,
in
bro?
The cut. I'm hanging, man. I'm actually, doing really well, man. Doing really well.
Nice to have you here in the podcast, bro.
Hell yeah. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
So, I'd like to ask, how's your island trip last week?
Oh man, man! The island trip last week was awesome, man. It was definitely well needed. I mean, I had we performed a Black Attic, which was cool. Me, Denny, and Fern, which was awesome. Yep. Super talented, and it was cool to watch them perform, which is sick. Like Denny is awesome live. Fern is great live.
Amazing artists.
So yeah, like we did that show, and then we had one day where we were just island hopping.
Adventure time.
Yeah. It was awesome. Like just kind of, I had a little moment on the beach. I had to shed my little thug tear from moms. But it was cool. It made me like, it made me thankful to be here. Definitely very grateful. And yeah, just like honestly, we shot a music video over there. So that's gonna be that's on the way.
That's something that we were gonna look forward to.
Hell yeah.
So
man.
you did a gig, shot a music video. It's been hella productive.
Yeah, super productive. And we were only there for like 3 days too. And like 2.5 days or something like that.
Oh, and you did a lot already.
Yeah. This whole trip in general, like this whole trip has been really productive. I'm actually really happy with what we did so far here.
So you went here, did an album launch in Apoteca.
Hell yeah.
And then you just did a gig last week out of town. Until when are you going to be here?
Well, I was actually supposed to leave tomorrow.
Okay.
But I'm here for another week. Because we got a couple potential videos we're shooting. Still locking in, making more music, which is great. Like I'm super happy to just like keep locking in with people over here. I know MB Now comes out here like on the 19th, so hopefully we get to like link in some capacity, just hang out
before you leave.
Yeah, before I leave. So, but yeah, here for another week, man. Had to hit the extendo.
Rebook that flight.
Yeah, man, for real.
But can you tell me more about like how do you feel before you go here? Like, what's your expectation about the Philippines, the motherland? Yeah,
I mean, funny enough, like when it comes to like the expectations I was having about the Philippines, I tried not to have any. Okay. I just wanted to, like, we've been talking about this for a while, but like, I just wasn't like expecting like a red carpet and like everything. I was like, you know what? Like, let me just walk into this, see what the love is like, and of course be grateful for it either way, like when we did the RSVP for Apoteca, like that, it was a lot of people. So I was like, okay, it's going to be a packed house, but I really wonder if they're going to like me, really accept me. And it exceeded my expectation. Like, wow. I was like, oh, damn, it's a lot of love here.
Mad love.
Yeah, like from the beginning of the set to the end of the set, everybody was singing each song. Even for the new songs too, like the songs that were like only like 2 weeks old at that point, like
very updated people.
Yeah, it was awesome. So like I was just like, oh, I'm so happy I didn't walk into this thinking anything. Like, and a lot of artists popped out, which was really cool. Like just having love from the scene out here, like the artists here, like they were all showing hella love, and I was like, okay, cool, like I'm accepted. That's a relief, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, like it was a legendary night. Like that was history, and I'm still thinking about that show. Like even this morning, just still thinking about it. So
core memory type shit.
Yeah, definitely a core memory. Such a core memory. And like, you know, it was just to like having a new album out, and you know, we did like 3 or 4 songs off it, and people were still vibing like they heard it like a year ago, you know? So like it just it also opened me up just to the concert space here, and like how much people really love music. Like I noticed like the fans here are like real fans of music.
Yep.
So yeah, I definitely want to spend more time here and do more shows here.
I think Philippines is the karaoke capital of the world.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And it's like, and I think too, like people just know music, like real recognize real, you know?
Yes.
So if you really study music, you're gonna appreciate it. And I think everybody over there appreciated it a lot.
Facts. How's Filipino food so far?
Oh, amazing. Amazing. I've been thriving out here eating everything. But yeah, it's been a trip, man. I've definitely been dabbling in everything, and it's you know, just abusing the Grab app like a lot, like ordering. Shout out Grab, man. Shout out Grab. You know what I'm saying? Cut the check, man. I love it. But yeah, I love the Grab app. You know,
so convenient.
Yeah, hella
have a lot of
convenient.
choices.
Hell yeah, so many choices, man. You don't get the choices like that on Uber Eats back in America, bro. You really don't. So shout out Grab, man. Hell yeah.
Have you tried the street foods already?
Not yet, actually. Not yet. I will though. I think I have another week here, so
Okay.
I'm gonna definitely dabble.
You should try balut. You know balut?
Yes,
It's the.
I've had a little sampler of it. I haven't fully dove in yet, but maybe I will. Maybe I will before I leave. That's funny that you brought that up, because I was like, okay, that's on the bucket list for sure.
So you've been doing a lot of music since you arrived.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about what we can expect, or who are these people? Can you tease us some collaborations?
Some, yeah,
okay.
Yeah, a little bit, well, I got a song with Superfly, which is awesome. Like he's super talented, and
Yes.
I'm actually really happy that we got to get in, and like just like, you know, it wasn't like an email thing. Like we were both in the same room, we got to talk, which was really cool, and like hang out. I got a smash record with Denise Laurel, like
Let's go.
Incredible. Like
Let's go.
It's so sick. Like
He's an artist, you know.
Yeah.
A real artist, like an actress and also a musician.
Yeah.
And I believe he won Your Face Sounds Familiar back in 2016.
Oh, okay.
And Denise Laurel is like, you know, a singer, a musician that like in the industry in here in the Philippines, there's not a lot of them like her.
Yeah, she's a legend, man. I love her, and she's like
legend.
really, she's just so cool. Like just like the coolest person, like to like just sit down and have a drink with, and you know, we had a great conversation last night. So it was just like, you know, I appreciate the fact that like I do get to make music with people out here, but I get to like have a second to like hang out, just like kind of shoot the shit and like be really personal. Like I noticed like a lot of the artists here are just mad personal. Like they actually want to get to know you and like hang out. It's not like standoff, like, you know, whatever, he's weird. You know what I mean? Like they're all cool. Shout out to them. Yeah. And we were in the studio with Al James too. Still waiting on how that one's gonna sound, but like I'm excited. He actually just hit me last night, like, hey, yeah, like I'm gonna hit you back with this soon.
Shout out to Al James.
Yeah, Al James is awesome, man. Love him.
I'm excited to those collabs.
Yeah, it's sick. We got the guys from Player 2 produced on a song too. So, you know, without saying too much, definitely got a lot of work out here done. I'm mad excited.
For a short period of time, you're doing a lot, bro.
Oh hell yeah, and I have my staff to thank for that. Like Bobby and Natty have been like really setting me up well out here. Like the Fly Shit Only boys and the Swisher boys, like just I've been definitely having a lot of just productivity when it comes to just like having like the staff take care of me on that end.
Of course.
So yeah, like, you know, just getting mad productive, and that's how I am. Like I like to get a lot done, still have fun. Like I've been having fun, you know what I mean? Like I'll have my day or two of fun, but definitely been getting to it.
Half work, half fun, no?
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, that's how it should be. Yeah. You know, I feel like the moment I treat it just like a job, like it's just a job, I feel like I'm not gonna have like my joyful moments out of it anymore. But like I think it's a lot of joy in what we've been doing, and it's been a blast for sure.
Solid. Russell, I really want to ask, like, for those who doesn't know, like, for those who just know you about your music, like lately, like about a year ago, 2 years ago, but you've been in YouTube for a while now.
Yeah,
like you started off of YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about how you like get into it, started doing your craft?
Yeah.
About everything. Really.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when it came to the beginning stages of everything on YouTube, I was actually putting out skits. I was like 13, just putting out skits.
Wow.
And it was like YouTube was just like a site to. It was funny. I had a MySpace page, so YouTube was actually just like the thing. You know, like when you embed a video on like So you used to get the embed code on YouTube and then put it on your MySpace. So it was like that. I used to like just upload videos, and then I saw that there was a comment section, and like people were commenting. And I was like, oh, this is like a great way to kind of put myself out there. And then I started putting music on there. I was
13.
Yeah, 13 years old. Wow. Like my mom had bought me a Samsung CO1U mic. It was like a USB mic.
USB plug-in mic.
So yeah.
Plug and play, right?
Yeah. And I got Audacity. Like that was like the first program, and Cool Edit Pro. So I was just kind of working Audacity and Cool Edit Pro and learning how to record myself, being really fascinated with how my voice sounded like over.
No one taught you about it?
No, I just like, and not even at the time too, there weren't too many YouTube tutorials. So I was just kind of like freestyling it, like let me see what's up, and learning along the way. Of course, having a couple friends over like MSN Messenger teach me what mixing was and stuff like that. So I definitely had people teaching me. But yeah, just perfecting my craft, and like by 15 years old, like things started catching a little steam. And on top of that too, I was in high school, so like just going around different high schools rapping and really like. I wasn't like a battler. I actually lost my first ever rap battle. My first and last rap battle, I lost.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, dude ripped my shit apart. No pause. He completely, yeah, dude. And wherever you are, shout out Cakes. But he totally let me know I am not a battle rapper. So
he's the guy who told you you're not for this type of shit.
yeah. I definitely wasn't a battle rapper. He fucked my shit up. But I was like, all right, cool. Like, let me make records now. Let me make songs and like do this, because like it's like I definitely saw like I had an interest in songwriting. Like I liked writing songs. Like that was like the thing for me. I was like, all right, cool. Like, let me write some rap songs. Like, I know how to rap, and that's cool, but like, let me try to do some original stuff. So yeah, around like 15, 16, I was just like kind of putting out records and just seeing what kind of hit and what didn't.
And you're putting it out on YouTube.
Yeah,
and
YouTube.
Then embed it again in MySpace.
Yeah,
and
so then
just build community from there.
Yeah, around like 15 or 16, MySpace kind of like. What year was that? MySpace was like gone. Like it just like kind of like exited out.
For sure, a lot of watching right now doesn't have MySpace. Account back then,
a lot of people don't even know what MySpace is now. But YouTube was still prevalent. Like it was like still a thing. So I was definitely up in there just uploading videos, like whether it was like a little vlog about my life or just like, you know, a song like with the audio and like a picture of me. But I gained a fan base off that, which was really cool. And then going to a lot of open mic shows and just seeing like a lot of people were watching me, which was like sick, because I don't think a lot of people were really put on to the fact that you could just put your stuff up. And then Facebook came along, so going on Facebook groups and uploading my stuff on there. And just utilizing social media as a whole, you know, just like always being consistent with like putting out content. Like I was a content creator before it was a thing, which is like really cool. But yeah, like, and then at 16, I signed a deal. No, 17. It was around like 17. I signed a deal. And it was like an independent deal. So I was like going back and forth to New York. And that was when like datpiff.com was around, and like Hot New Hiphop and Two Dope Boys and like a bunch of blog stuff.
And you were featured in those blogs.
Yeah. So I was in the blog era, which was really cool, but like sharing the blog era with the YouTube stuff. You know what I mean? So just utilizing that. But yeah, it was a long journey. But it was a really cool one, just being early to the party, like just early to utilizing like all this stuff. And now YouTube is like YouTube is YouTube now. It's basically TV now.
Yes.
But yeah, those were the beginnings. Those are definitely the beginnings.
When you were like 13 to 17 before that deal, that independent deal, where were you at?
Sorry?
Where are you residing that time?
I was in Brampton. Like that was that's my hometown. I was actually, it was like a little house on if anybody knows Beauvert and Kennedy, that's where I lived. But that was where I kind of started everything. Like I'd finally gotten like my own bedroom, and I was like in high school and just using like his family computer, and my mom like was like, here, go for it. So yeah, I was traveling from Brampton to New York City. Like,
so it's Brampton is in Canada?
yeah, it's about like 40 minutes away from, I would say 30 to 40 minutes away from Toronto.
Oh, okay, that's why it's near New York.
Sorry?
That's why it's near New York.
It's like 10 hours away. Like like everything is like right here, and then New York is over here. So like it's like an hour flight, but I used to,
an hour flight, yeah.
Yeah, I used to take that flight a lot for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So and then when you got, I want to know more about how is it like touring in the height of YouTube with the likes of some artists that this are friends from Wild 'N Out.
Yeah. Shout out Tim.
For you on the height of YouTube with Tim DeLaguero and the likes of JR.
Yeah.
And then how is it like touring outside Canada? You've been to Australia that time.
Yeah. It was great. Those were like definite core memories. Like there were some negatives out of it. I was alone a lot of the times. Like it was like definitely a lot of the guys being my big brothers and taking care of me. And just trying to adjust to fame, because like I would be closing those shows out every night.
Okay.
So a lot of those crowds would definitely be there for me, but I was like, I was definitely getting in my head a lot with it. But the guys were always I was the little brother out of the group. They were always like kind of breaking my balls and just being like, super, just like roasting me and shit. But like I needed that. It built a lot of character. It built a lot, and I think like too, just like when it came down to traveling to different places, like I kind of got my chops as an artist of like having to do the whole tour thing. You get to the city, you got to check into the hotel, you got to do your sound check, you got to, you know what I mean? Like, so the whole schedule was kind of embedded in my head, which I still kind of take with me now. Like I'm completely like, I could live on tour for like years.
That's a very good training ground.
Yeah. Super. It was definitely like my 10,000 hours put into being an artist. But yeah, went to a lot of places. I mean, Australia was sick. Like those were big shows. Like it was a lot of people at those shows.
And that's far from Canada, bro.
Yeah, very far. And then just doing the states, like a lot of U.S. states. We were doing like Seattle, New York City, L.A. It was so much. Doing like colleges and just like it was really cool to experience as a young kid, because like I went from hating high school, like literally hating being in class, to like staying in a bunch of like literally living in hotels for like weeks on end,
and just to perform for schools.
to perform for a lot of these like compilation concerts, and seeing Tim and seeing the guys all the time, and like it was like a reunion each time. It was so fun being with them. And I saw Tim not too long ago, right before I came here, and it's every time we see each other, we reminisce on things, and it's cool. That's big bro for real.
You were Deep Pride back then, right? What's the story behind the name?
You know what? Like, it's funny because nobody ever really called me that. It was like I gave it the name to myself. So it was just funny because like my friends used to be like, I'm not calling you that, right? Like you're Russell, bro. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted like a rapper name, like a J. Cole, like at the time. So like it was just kind of putting a letter right beside like a name, like or like a word, that was like the quintessential thing back then, being a rapper. So I just wanted like a really rapper name. I think I definitely grew out of it, but it was the D stood for Duke, and it was like Duke Pride. I still don't get why. I'm still like, but it's at a certain point in time it stuck, and I just was like, shit, I gotta like kind of deal with this and like run with it, because everybody knows me as this now. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting time.
You put out a lot of content and music under Deep Pride before, and it was an era.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember back in 2015, 16. There's a lot of content, right, coming out from you, and what's the like? Can you tell us more about what type of phase in Russell's life is Deep Pride? That era of Deep Pride.
Yeah, I think like, and I've been saying it too, like to a lot of people, like that was just my 10,000 hours. Like I think it was very experimental. Like it was definitely a very experimental phase. Just kind of figuring out who I was as an artist. Like I love music and I love being an artist, but I just didn't have my thing yet. Like I didn't have my stylistic angle to things as of yet. I was definitely like mimicking a lot of the rappers I was listening to. I think I did have like the skill of rapping. Like I was really good at rapping. I still like now, like, you know, look back at certain things like, okay, you were talented. Like you're good. You know, you weren't quite there yet, but like I could see where people admired the pen, you know, like it was definitely, again, just like those 10,000 hours put into like really being an artist and training myself to really take this seriously. But I look back at those days now, especially like recently, just kind of like being thankful for a lot of them, because like nobody really gets to come up like that. You know, I got to really, really go through the motions of like figuring it out. So I would definitely say it was just like me figuring it out. Yeah.
It was like very it's like a very good memory to me, because on that era, my friend Dustin, shout out to Just Washington, had his tattoo, "I love you, I'm sorry."
Oh, I love you, don't worry. Yeah.
I love you, don't worry.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
that was,
I love you, don't worry. Yeah. He had it tattooed here, and that was like his first. I'm not sure, but you know that's how impactful you are to him. So
nice.
I think even coming out from Toronto, you've been really appreciated here in your early days.
Oh hell yeah, I'm seeing it too. I mean, a lot of the artists have like come up to me and told me that, like, which I'm just still taken aback by. Like I'm like, damn, really? But it's just like I've been working on being more grateful about it. I think like I'm gonna be honest, like there were times where I used to shun it. Like I used to just try to not talk about it or like kind of run away from it. But I think with age and growing up, you know, just being older and really seeing, and especially coming here and seeing the impact, I'm like, dog, like
that's a story.
Yeah, like it's a story, and it's cool. And like I think, you know, like Nipsey said, you know, the highest human act is to inspire. And like the fact that I've inspired so many people, it's like I've just felt like I have a responsibility to keep doing that. You know, it's not to pressure myself, but just to see like certain rappers here come up to me, and these rappers are killing it right now. Like,
yes,
absolutely killing it right now.
On top of their games.
Yeah, like really like taking this as like a job themselves and like really doing their thing, having their own fan bases, but still so like cool enough to come up to me and be like, nah, yo, dude, like you influenced me, like, and paying that respect. It's just like, it's definitely taught me to be way more grateful about it. And that's kind of how I want to go about it now. Like I love my story. I've been starting to like love my story, and I think too it's just something that a lot of people can take for themselves. Like, you know, keep going. Like you really never know what's going to happen, and you never know what direction you're going to take. Like, but you know, just to be out here and like really receive all the love. It's like it's definitely I'm still growing with it for sure.
It resonates better now.
Yeah, for real.
So you started doing music at 13, throwing out content at 13, and then you of course the key points there is just being out there a lot, trying to be consistent, being part of a lot of open mics, just to hone your craft. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
But you also said that, you know, your mom just lent out PC, you bought your USB mic, you know, you have a supported mom.
Yeah,
know.
hell yeah.
Can you tell us more about growing up from you know the age that you can remember to 13 before you put out the content? How is Russell growing up? Like what is like how do a kid like Russell is when he was a kid?
Yeah. I mean, I was definitely an emotional kid. like really emotional. Like I cried a lot as a kid. Like it was crazy. But you know, I just definitely like dealing with a lot of like family issues, like having to see my mom go through a lot. My mom was a workaholic. So like I just know a lot of my earliest memories of like or like her taking me to work with her. You know what I mean? Like she used to have so many jobs. And one of her jobs was like working at a hair salon. So I used to like ride the bus with my mom and go to the hair salon and be in the corner because she couldn't find a sitter. So playing with my toys and just waiting on my mom. But like my mom was like the center of my universe. And she always like had a bar for me. She was like, you know, I didn't have anything, but I gave you everything. Wow. And I love that. Like, I kind of want to get it tatted on me, but it was a bar, like, because that's really what it was. Like, I'll never really sit here and be like, I never had shit. Like, nah, my mom spoiled me, but we didn't have much, but she still spoiled me, you know, and like tried her best to give me everything like everything I could, you know, whether it was like, you know, having a Thomas the Tank Engine themed birthday or, you know, like having like Dragon Ball Z action figures or like, you know, just these little things that she would save so much money to just try to make me happy for. And I think a lot of those traits, like a lot of like her attitude about that, like rubbed off on me. And that's just how I am as a person. So like I grew up kind of like that. Like I wanted friends and I wanted to like treat my friends like the world, like how my mom treated me. So I was definitely, again, like just a really emotional, sentimental kid. My step pops, he's Trinidadian, so I grew up around a lot of like Caribbean people. Okay. So definitely going to a lot of Caribbean parties and dancing, and that's where I get my rhythm from. Really.
Okay.
Like,
that's where you get your like the music, the chops of it.
Yep. So like, you know, getting Filipino from getting karaoke from my Filipino side, and then like getting like my stage fright was like gone because I just like danced with my family and had fun and like watched them every night, you know, blast music until like 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning, like soca and calypso and things of that nature. Like those are like, if I remember any happy things from my childhood, it was really being around my family. Like I was really family oriented. And then, you know, just kind of growing up in Brampton, like we lived in an area that I lived in like near the night. If anybody knows Brampton, I lived like near the Knightsbridge buildings. So like, you know, definitely a really multicultural childhood. Like a lot of my friends were like different races, and we all kind of learned off each other, and it was like really cool. Like those were like my happiest parts of my childhood. Like besides like my family and being with them, just like hanging out with different kids. And like understanding like what was going on with them, and you know, sharing my culture with them, you know. And then I moved away. Like I moved. My mom and dad, like they had to get like a bigger house. We had my sister there, and
family's growing.
Yeah, family was growing, and they tried everything they could to just get this like one house in the suburbs. Wasn't like the biggest house, but they were like, you know what, it's better than this apartment, and like. I think a lot of like my early depression came from just like moving away from that area that I was at, because like those buildings were like my favorite place in the world. But yeah, that's definitely the rundown of the childhood, you know, just like kind of having like a great mom, having a great family, and just kind of like soaking in all the culture. Because now I could see it like at 30, like that's why I'm the way I am. Like I was just promoted to like be so open to things and like, you know, kind of trying everything and definitely not having any stage fright or shame to, you know, being in front of people.
So definitely family plays a lot in your life right now.
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely.
I want to jump into the next question. And I want to ask this really. When did you realize that being a performer and being an artist is the direction you want to live?
Oh man, I mean, you know, it's funny, and this sounds like really weird, but it's hilarious. Like I always knew from like when I was like a really little kid, like I wanted to be like famous. I just wanted to be famous. So like I think like I just like I would probably say like 6 years old. I was just like, yeah, I want to be famous. Like I'm gonna perform in front of people and be on stages. Like that was definitely 6 years old.
Growing up, going back to growing up, like, do you ever tasted Filipino food already?
Yeah, hell yeah. My mom did everything she could to give me
Filipino.
Yeah, just like it put me on to Filipino stuff, have me culture. Because again, like I had a Trinidadian stepdad, right? So I'm getting like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But my mom was definitely a Filipino mom. She was so Filipino.
Sinasabi ko sa'yo.
Yeah. Oh my God. If I know so much.
Shout out, Tita.
Yeah, I know so much because of like just the things she would say, and she wasn't strict at all, but my mom was definitely stern and scary at times. But yeah, man, shout out to my mom. Definitely put me onto a lot.
Yeah. Now that you've experienced the love of Filipino artists, now that you know and witness it firsthand, the support of the Philippines, do you think that you're gonna be more of traveling here in Canada more often?
Hell yeah.
And just build from it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I see especially as of recently, the scene has been like, I feel like there's so much potential here. And everybody's like, all the artists have found like such a great identity. And the music is amazing. The concerts have been amazing. Again, like I said, right? Like everybody appreciates music out here. But I think too, like when it comes to like hip hop and R&B, the underground has really taken the lead. Like it's so cool to see, and like to not be part of, like I would be a fool not to be a part of it and like empower the scene. And just to see that a lot of the artists have been like influenced by me, I'm just like, yo, like why not come over here and, empower people and bridge the gap and like just kind of like really help make this a worldwide thing. Because everybody's killing it here, and they need to like. I just feel like we got to take this like on a global scale, like really be on the Hot 100, like really tearing it up. Because like the music out here, from everybody I've been listening to is like it's evolved, and like the records are so catchy, and Tagalog rap especially is just so cool to listen to for me. So like I'm like, it's only a matter of time. Like I'm gonna give it like a year or two, like, but to be a part, like I would really want to be a part of it. And thankfully everybody embraces me out here, and I've gotten nothing but love. So like I just want to act upon that. I never want to take that for granted. And like again, like if I were to just be in the States and doing all this, like it's like, come on, man, you got a whole country over here like willing to support you.
Yes.
And you have all these artists over here that need a voice. Like they really need a voice, especially on like, when it comes to the westernized culture. Like, a lot of artists here are like really influenced by a lot of things like in America. But I think they do it just as good, if not better, than the American artists. Like I think we're able to box, like everybody's able to box with them, so it's just being that guy to bridge that gap and show all these guys like, nah, there's more than me, and they actually sing and rap in their native language. Like you should check these guys out. And that's my mission, just like to bridge the gap, make this something that people all around the world can like really, really appreciate. Cause I definitely appreciate it, especially just being here and having my first trip here. I've learned to appreciate it so much more.
That's a very good, that's a very good thing to know, that you are serving a purpose. You are here, empowering the local Filipino artists with your experience, with your POV.
Hell yeah,
on a global scale.
For sure.
And I think that's a lot of value for us here.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And one hand washes the other. I'm learning more about my culture.
Yes.
And I'm unlearning a lot of things, like having an American superiority complex. Like I don't want to have that, because like everybody here, like there's so much for me to learn out here from everybody else. Like all these artists, like some of them, like how they perform, I'm just like, okay, now let me take notes, So just kind of, again, one hand washes the other. If I'm able to learn things and they're off them and they're able to learn things off me, like I think as a scene where it's just like the unity is going to be, it's going to be unfuckwithable. Like everybody will. Yeah, for real. Shout out to everybody too. Like for real, like the most genuine shout out to the whole scene, because I fuck with everybody.
Shout out to you guys. We'll know more about Russell after this break. This is your favorite podcast, DOUGBROCK Radio. Yo, Cybergang, maraming salamat sa pagsuporta dito sa DOUGBROCK Radio Podcast. Dahil sa mga suporta nyo, patuloy namin nagagawa yung mga gantong klaseng content. Check out nyo rin yung iba pa namin mga programa. Huwag nyo kalimutan mag-subscribe at i-follow kami sa lahat ng socials namin, DOUGBROCK TV. Keep on winning. What is up, cyberspace? DOUGBROCK Radio again, your favorite podcast. We're still with Russell. Bro, I'd like to ask, tell us more about tracks, head top.
Oh
Fish
my
and chips.
God. Oh man. Well, yeah, that was a funny era, man. That was my rap era. My last rap album, actually.
Very strong pen, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, that was definitely the last rap album I ever put out. And it was funny because I was still going kind of through my transitional phase of figuring out what I wanted to do. But like, it's cool. I listen to those songs sometimes, like just on my own time, like just to see, like, you know, how was this like, you know, I will say I'm happy I'm not rapping anymore. It's definitely a very confusing time for me to find the right records. But it's cool. Like, I kind of listen to those songs and I'm like, damn, like if another guy rapped some of this shit, it'd be cool. Like if I ghost wrote this entire album for somebody else, it would have really worked. But no, that was a fun album to do. I mean, I'd hopped on Pro Tools again, like, because I used to record on Cool Edit Pro, but I hated like kind of how my mixes like aged really horribly. But when I listened to that album, like, you know, a lot of the songs, like I could tell like I was really cutting it up on Pro Tools and going in. So that, again, like, you know, the conversation of the 10,000 hours, like that was another 10,000, like, you know, however many hours to add to the 10,000 of like recording myself and producing myself.
Being an artist in outside the Philippines, here in the Philippines, you know, it's, especially today, it's easier to like produce, create, and record your own.
Yeah.
But of course, there's a lot of creatives and musicians as well. But in Canada, can you tell us about how do you independently produce? Like, do you have peers? Do you have friends, connections? Is there any studios for free? Like, how did you chop it up?
Yeah, I mean, like, I work out of my apartment back home. That's just, I like home recording.
All DIY.
Yeah, like, pretty much majority of it is DIY. Kyle, You Made That is, like, my main producer. He's from Toronto, too. Filipino dude as well.
Shout out.
There's a couple spots out there. I mean, I found a new studio called Division 88, which is really nice. Like, I'm very, when it comes to like certain studio rooms, like I've been in a mall, like, you know, like going to LA and being in like, you know, certain, you know, Westlake and all the big bougie rooms, you know. Yes. I've done it all from the big studios to the small studios. And like, I just like, whether it's a big studio or a small studio, I like recording in an environment that makes me feel like home. And Toronto makes me feel like home. Like, I love cutting over there. I mean, literally, like, my whole outfit right now is literally like my studio outfit. Like, I'm in my pajamas because like it makes me feel like I'm back home. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I get the best takes and like the best music out of being in my pajamas. But that's like, yeah, like literally if I put on pajama pants, like I feel like I'm back in my room in Toronto. So like, my room is definitely like, you know, sitting in there, like smoking weed all day and just hanging out. Like, that's like a good pastime of mine. But yeah, it's everything is damn near DIY. Down to even Kyle just being on the Fruity Loops and playing all the songs on KRK Rocket 4s or 5s, like one of those. So like, if anybody knows, that's the setup. Like, you know, Focusrite, KRK
5.
Rocket 5s, and like, you know, an SM7B. I recorded on SM7B.
And Fruity Loops, and you're good to go.
Yeah, Fruity Loops. Sometimes the occasional Pro Tools if I'm cutting myself.
So you're a Pro Tools guy.
Yeah, I'm a Pro Tools guy for sure. I love Pro Tools.
Standards, huh?
Yeah. Industry standard, definitely.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Can you take us? How is it like? Like, what's the Toronto vibe?
What's the Toronto vibe? Addie's in here. I feel like I wouldn't explain it better than him. But at least from my perspective, like, I grew up in the Drake era. Mm-hmm. Like, I was in high school when Drake came out, and even pre-Drake era, just kind of like being kind of in tune to the hip hop scene over there. Like, I've seen so many stages of it. I've seen the evolution of the sound and everything around it. I mean, 40, I feel like 40 really created the soundscape for how almost like cold it is over there. You know, we get 6 months of winter and fall, you know, so it's like mad cold. You know, the other half is like these hot summers that are incredible because like everybody's outside after being inside for so long. So you see like The women there are fucking incredible. I've missed the girls over there, I will say. So like the girls definitely inspire a lot of the music, which is why you have all this like R&B that comes out of Toronto that sounds like the way it does. It's because you probably had like the most hot girlfriend ever, and she like definitely influenced you or broke your heart enough to make an entire album about it. So there are those for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I will say too, you know, a lot of the Toronto sound is co-opted from like, you know, and influenced by other sounds. Again, like 40, you know, handing in his influence, and you know, House of Balloons being like a really prevalent album over there. But I'm just so happy to be from there and like proud to be from there, because like we do have like such a great identity when it comes to like our influence on music as a whole. Like we really did influence a lot of stuff. And just being in the city, like when you're in the city and you're creating, you know, whether you're like on the east end or the west end or smack dab in the middle of downtown, like you could catch a vibe anywhere. I feel like you could just, I usually just walk the town sometimes just to get some sort of home feel. But especially in the summer, like the summer definitely like has inspired a lot of fun records for me. But yeah, the Toronto vibe is like, I would just say it's like, I would also say it's multicultural, like, you know, being around different types of people. I've just been able to adapt to many different rooms, you know, like I listen to so many different types of music, you know what I mean? Like being able to appreciate dance hall and Afro beats and, you know, calypso, soca, like those parties are jumping where I'm from, you know? And then you have like the hip hop and the R&B scene, and there's a rock scene, and there's like a punk scene, and just kind of like meshing in with a lot of the performers over there. It's like, it's just so cool to see like what we've become, and what's about to happen, you know, with a new wave of artists. But yeah, man, I love Toronto.
Especially every summer, there's a lot of festivals with different genres and music fests, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we had Rolling Loud come to Toronto, which was really cool, and they were embracing a lot of the rap artists over there. So like that was cool for me to see. But I definitely want to see more. Like I want to see some more variety out of the city. I think there is variety in the city. It's just like in the cut. Yep. You know, you gotta go searching. But you know, shout out to 40, shout out to OVO and XO and the guys that really like, you know, and the other OGs too, you know, like Socrates, like Cardinal, like, you know, they did so much like when it came to putting in work and taking the heat in the industry to be from Toronto. So yeah, shout out to Toronto Sound.
Shout out to Toronto Sound. It's there's a lot of Filipinos in Toronto, not just in Canada, not just in Toronto, but the entire Canada as well. Especially health workers, you know, truck drivers. Definitely the Filipinos are everywhere, right? But is there any like group of Filipinos who does hip hop or R&B in
hell
Canada?
Yeah. I mean, Drake's right hand man is a Filipino guy. OVO Nico, yeah, like he took him to his first barber. Like Nico is definitely like a tastemaker over there. Really cool dude. I mean, Filipinos in the Six is like literally a outlet out there, you know, for Filipinos that are from Toronto, which is cool. But yeah, it's like a really, really big Filipino community out there that appreciates hip hop and R&B. I mean, you could go over there and see a bunch of like cool looking Filipino kids with the craziest cornrows and, you know, like the dopest fits. And they're all like, some of them are like, you know, designing clothes and like have their own clothing lines and really like putting on the sickest parties. So it's definitely a cool Filipino scene over there. And I've been meshed in with it like a lot more recently. Just kind of embracing the culture more, and I see a lot of kids over there embracing their culture more. So yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah. Addy, let's do something there.
Yeah, Addy's Filipino, so you know, it's like it's definitely like, you know, you could any room in the scene that you walk into, you'll see like 2 or 3 Filipino guys just like chilling in there for sure.
That's how world class we are.
Hell yeah, we're chameleons, man. Like, and I think Toronto too, like, has taught me that. Like, just living over there, like, we're really chameleons. We really like mesh in with every crowd over there.
And just talking to you for like less than an hour, I can say that you're really a listener observer. You really want to absorb things and
Thanks,
learn
man.
from people.
Yeah, I talk a shit ton though. I talk almost as much as like I listen a lot, but I talk even more. But yeah, man, I just like to take in things and of course too like get perspectives on things and even when it comes to interviews, like, you know, Jay-Z even said like, yo, even my interviews are fly. You know, so I like holding that under my belt, just being the guy too, like that can really have a good conversation with anybody, you know.
A good conversationalist is a good artist, they say.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I mean, you know, my whole life has been molded like off just being like a really like I want to be a famous person. Like that was just like since I was a kid. So I like really like practiced wanting to be on the couch with Jimmy Fallon and David Letterman and like all these things. Like that was what I grew up on. So like I don't know. It's something that I stopped like kind of running away from because a lot of artists that I met were always like, "Oh yeah, I don't want the fame. I want the money," and like kind of just like kind of dissing show business. But like this is show business, and like if you don't want to chase after it, then maybe you just shouldn't be an artist. But like I want to be an artist, man.
Word.
Hell yeah.
Because if you get famous, you can show your art to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you'll never get famous if you don't make sense.
Yeah.
And if you get famous making sense, you influence a lot of people as well.
And even looping in like being Filipino to like the whole thing. It's like I grew up seeing like the shows my mom watched, and a lot of them were like pageantry shows, like performing shows. Like you would take this like 5-year-old kid and tell him, "Hey, sing Beyonce in front of like this crowd of 1,000 people." You know, and I think like that was something that influenced me too culturally. Like we're natural performers. Like we'll just hop up there and do it.
Natural
you know?
entertainers.
Yeah. So like I feel like I'd be doing a disservice even to my culture to not hop up here and like be outspoken and really like break it down for people. But one thing that I can compliment about the scene right now and a lot of artists out here is they're actually like being outspoken and they're coming out and they're like really showing out. So yeah, man. Shout out to actually wanting to be famous.
And everyone here actually is, you know, equally unique as well. And I think
I love it.
That's the reason why everybody's just trying to push everything together, because everything is unique.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody has I think there was like a Billboard Philippines video where everybody was performing. Like, Hev was there, Oside was there, Illest,
Player 2.
and it's cool. Like, I'll nerd out for a sec, but it was just so cool seeing Hev perform and like Illest harmonize with him, like as he was performing, because it was cool because they're on the same team basically, right?
They're,
so
they're
like
in the same
just
label
seeing
as well.
her back his vocals up. Seeing the unity in that circle, but also seeing like the individuality. Everybody was different.
Yep.
Everybody was like had their own thing going on.
Yep.
And like that just looked so like you know, you get the XXL freshman class and all that stuff, and like that's cool. Like, but just seeing what this is, I'm like, wow, like everybody's different. Everybody's doing their own thing. They have their own fan bases. And then seeing them in a video where they're all together and like,
wow,
you know, and you look at the views on that and you see like all these fan bases showed out and watched that video and supported everybody. So yeah, man, I just give a huge compliment to like all the artists out here for finding like individuality and identity within themselves.
Shout outs also to Billboard Philippines, you know, for uplifting the Filipino hip hop, you know, after this big pop, and, you know, icons, because Billboard just launched, I think, mid last year, and they did a few covers already, and
nice.
You know, having entire set of hip hop young artists on the 4th or 5th edition of
it's
Billboard
so cool.
Philippines. Shout outs to Brett Jackson and the team. I think that's you are seeing the same thing. That the Filipino hip hop is bound for global domination.
Oh, hell yeah. And just like seeing everybody being like so proud of it. Like it's cool. Like, you know, like it's still, I hear Al James records and I'm like, this is so cool that like he has like certain like English top line in there. But for the most part, majority of it is Tagalog. And like, I'm like, yo, like more people need to hear this. Like this is as cool as like Latin music to me. And like, yeah, man, I can't stress it enough. I've been saying it everywhere. We've been having our conversations this entire trip of it. Like, but I just want to see it grow. Like, I want to see it, you know, I want to see the evolution, and I just want to see how big it's going to get, like, within the next coming years. Because, like, yeah, you guys, like, it's a lot of exciting stuff over here to see, especially just coming from the other side.
Of course. You think eventually Rolling Loud can be in the Philippines?
Yeah, for sure.
That's so fast of an
Oh,
answer.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I think too, when it comes to my purpose here, I want to really bridge that gap to like have other artists, like American artists, come over here and embrace this scene. Like, like to see, Hev on a bill with, Ski Mask Slump God or something. It'd just be so cool to me.
Facts, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like seeing 21 Savage on the same bill as Al James would be the coolest thing to me. But that needs to happen. Like that's something that I see within the near future that I like actually really want to happen and that I'm manifesting for myself. Like even if I'm not on the bill, I want to see everybody else on the bill. Like, even if I could just come as like a fan and a spectator and see that happen, I think it'd be really cool. Like, logistically, of course, like I couldn't speak for that end, because of course, like, it's a lot of business that goes on. But like, aside from the business, aside from logistics, aside from any of that, like I would love to see American artists mesh in with the artists over here and just do one big festival and like, have the fans like really get that range of talent and the types of music. Because again, like I really see like a lot of the artists here are influenced by the West, but like again, they could box with them. They can box with them. Like they really, really can. So like, if I could see like Oside Mafia perform alongside Shoreline Mafia, like that'd be such a cool thing for me. Like it'd be really, really cool. So yeah, like I hope Rolling Loud really does make a cool debut here and I see it like in the next couple of years, whether it's Rolling Loud or another type of festival. I just see something like that happening. So
I think the Filipino audience is ready, but yeah, the logistics is a different thing.
Yeah. That's
Especially
something that's a
if that's
different separate
happening.
conversation. Yeah.
Especially if that's happening for sure. Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, all those people are coming here.
Yeah.
If that's gonna happen, and I'm excited because we can show the fucking Filipino talent to everybody by then.
Oh, hell yeah. And I think too, just again, like meshing it in, like it makes sense. It really makes sense. Like a lot of these artists that are over here, like they make sense on a bill that would be with a bunch of American artists. So like, it's not even that far-fetched to think about. But again, like these logistics need to be done.
Yep.
And on top of that, just like a lot of the work that, I think the artists right now are just putting in a great amount of work. It's just time will tell. And, especially just like having the right records.
I don't think it's not far forward. It's going to happen soon.
Yeah, for sure. We got to manifest it, man. We definitely got to manifest it.
Yep. Russell, can you tell us a bit more being an Asian artist in the Western Hemisphere? Like, what challenges did you experience?
Yeah, being an Asian artist in the Western Hemisphere is definitely a difficult thing. I mean, I've been in the game for 15 years at this point. So like, I know that partially the reason behind that is because like I've taken a lot of heat being over there, going to different record labels and just trying to push things over there, but really like seeing the fact that they don't see me as the most marketable act. And again, that's just been like such a challenge and a hurdle for me to like keep on, running at the wall, just trying to throw something at the wall until it sticks and like really trying to convince all these A&Rs and these executives like, no, I'm a Filipino kid. Yeah. But like, it's so many other Filipino kids that want to see this representation within Western media. Like you need to just give this a chance. You need to invest, whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's marketing, like you need to do this. My managers like Bobby and Sammy, like they were in this before I was, taking all the heat. Like they took a lot of heat.
They paved the way.
Yeah, they really paved the way for guys like me, made a reference point for guys like me. And it was still hard for me to get in, like still, there's a lot of ignorance over there. As much as I love being like, a westernized kid and somebody who adores hip hop and R&B on the American side, I can definitely say it for myself. Like, it's a lot of ignorance over there. I've even I was somebody that partaked in a lot of the ignorance. But I just think like I really do serve a purpose. Like it's bigger than just making music to me. Like, especially being here, I figured it like a really big responsibility. Again, not putting pressure on myself, but a responsibility to like really give more of a reference point to a lot of Americans of what Asian music is like. There are these AAPI events and like all this other stuff, but like, I just think like, I think we need to be more supportive over there.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the support over here. I'm like, why don't American artists like support each other like this, you know? But I do think if a lot of Asian artists stick together, especially, you know, with TikTok and social media being so prevalent, it's like you kind of don't need a label. You can kind of just like go independent with it and then leverage to a label later on. And I think that that's kind of what we need to do. Like as Asian artists over there, at a certain point, you just got to be like, all right, they're not going to get it, you know, but I get it. And my team gets it. And the people that want the representation really bad get it. You know, especially if you look on TikTok and you see a lot of these influencers, like Asian influencers talk about entertainment. Like the want and the need for representation has been bigger than ever. Like everybody wants that now. So I think it's no better time than now. But in the 15 years I've been in it, it's definitely been a fucked up time. Like I've definitely heard the worst things possible when it came to being Asian. Definitely a lot of racism, definitely a lot of like ignorant comments that you just have to sit there and be like, okay.
Ignorant people.
Yeah, but you know, can't hate the player or the game. Like I'm in this for a reason. I love entertainment. If I got to take the heat, I'm going to, but you know, I've been saying this a lot to like a lot of people I'm around, but like if I could be the guy to kick down the door, you know what I mean? Like, and have everybody else come in. If I could be the main reference point, like I would love that because like I've really seen this shit. Like I've really been in these offices. I've really seen people, you know, get a big deal and fall from grace because like the teams over there just don't know how to market you, you know, but I feel like we're the most marketable people ever. We take up like so much of the Earth's population. And like when it comes to Asian art, it's so many different, like, you know, you have so many different types of Asian people making different types of art that's influenced by our experiences growing up. And I think that, again, just social media has given so much more of an outlet than, you know, movies or, you know, television. Like we can make our own way. We can make our own platforms. We can kind of just do it how we want to do it. And that's something I see in this scene. Everybody's like, you know what? I'm just going to do it how I want to do it. You know, and now the labels are looking at these guys like, oh, okay. Like, oh, they're doing their fucking thing, you know?
They know what they're doing.
yeah, exactly. So I think it's been quite the journey, but I'm willing to do 10 more years of it. Like, I just want to see us shine. Like, I really want to see us shine. Like, I want to look at the charts and, you know, big compliments to K-pop and everybody within it, but like, I want to see more than K-pop. I want to see an Asian rapper. I want to see an Asian R&B artist go 10 times platinum in the States, you know, and it's not too far off. It's really not too far off. It's just Americans need reference points. That's really what it is.
And let's become reference points.
Yeah, for real.
Right.
Like, you know, you got to do it big. And, you know, when you do it big, everybody kind of looks and they're like, all right, is there more of you? You know, and if I could be that guy, right? Like if I could put out an album, if I could put out a big single and then people see the way I look, you know, that's kind of why I don't wear shades and like why I'm so outward and, you know, full of life, like larger than life as a person. Because I really want people to see like, oh, I'm an Asian guy. Like I'm a Filipino guy. You know, look at me, you know? Because when they look at me, they're just going to be like, is there more of you? And if I could show them more, then my job is done.
Everything resonates about how you just want to kick off the door and then let everybody come in and, you know, take all this heat to become a bridge. And it just resonates how the love from the family and the love for your art.
Right? Yeah, hell yeah.
How you want to be of service to other people that fucks with you.
Hell yeah. Like, just having that responsibility and knowing my purpose in life. Like, I want to inspire people. Like, that sounds so corny, but like, I really do. Like, just seeing the looks on people's faces when they come up to me and say like, yo, bro, I would not be doing this if it wasn't for you, you know? And like, that holds a lot of weight to me. Like, that holds a lot of weight. If I were to just be doing this to be cool and to get girls, like, I would be doing myself a whole disservice for how much work I've put in throughout these years I've been doing this. So like, I just need to keep my head above water and keep going. Cause like that enough too can influence people, like especially the artists from here. Like just keep going. Like take this heat, man. Cause like you're talented. Like fuck it. Like what do we all have to lose?
Yes.
You only have one life. Like you might as well go hard in the paint.
Go hard.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No other way.
For real.
Just go hard. Russell, I'd like to ask, who are some of your influences, in the eras of your music, from exploring to becoming Pride and now here in R&B?
Yeah.
Aside from, aside from having heartaches and you putting out albums because of it, who are these artists that you can share to our viewers that, really resonates to you?
Yeah. A lot of the artists I was influenced by, like, if it wasn't mainstream stuff, it was a lot of Toronto stuff. So definitely given there was this rapper named Rochester, aka Juice. He was he had a song called I'm Ready, and that like inspired me to make my first rap, like actually record it and hear the playback on it. So I definitely want to give him a big ass shout out, because without him I would not be here. Soulja Boy, huge influence to me. I mean, Soulja Boy was on Fruity Loops using all the stock sounds and like making bangers. Like it was nuts. So Soulja Boy for sure. Drake. I'm a child of the Drake era. I'll never shun that. Like I'm definitely a son of the Drake era. And then you got Eminem. Like Eminem was the first. That was my gateway drug. Just listening to Eminem. 50 Cent was like somebody I looked at and I was like, okay, I want to be like him. Like I want to have businesses. I want to be a mogul, and I want the girls to like me, but I also want the dudes to like really fuck with my shit and keep a player to it, So like those are definitely the main influences. But then I would also say just like, when it comes to R&B, like listening to, I was a kid of the early 2000s R&B movement. So like, Usher, Omarion, B2K, like Tyrese even, Tank.
Tank, yeah.
Like, and shout out to Tank too, because he heard one of my records once and gave the nod. So shout out to Tank.
Shout out to
but yeah, Tank, Chris Brown.
Of course.
Yeah, shout out Chris Brown. And then man, I'm still trying to keep going, because like it's so many R&B influences I had.
I'm still a fan of this Omarion and Bow tape.
Hell yeah.
Their face off
tape.
Face
off. Yeah, that was a good one.
Let Me Hold You Down.
Yeah.
Those.
Sorry. I had to do Let Me Hold You. But yeah, even watching Sierra on 106 in Park for the first time, like things like that. Yeah, for sure. I'm just trying to think of more R&B, because there was so much R&B I grew up on that I'm like, just, oh man. But yeah, I would definitely say even too, like, Bruno Mars, some pop acts too, Katy Perry. Like I listen to a lot of pop music. Like I'm very big on pop music. So, Katy Perry, Jessie J, a lot of pop writers like Esther Dean is like one of my, like, if people know, they know. Like Esther Dean, quick little tangent, but Esther Dean wrote a bunch of Rihanna songs.
Wow.
And also was in Pitch Perfect as an actress in Pitch Perfect, singing the same song that she wrote. So she was definitely getting money from every end of that. So people need to give Esther Dean that respect. But yeah, that's a little list of the people that I definitely have been influenced by.
Aside from this foreign acts, like, have you ever been like a fan of Filipino artists that you haven't met yet? Since we know that this is your first time going home, but back there in the States or maybe in Canada, who are the artists in the Philippines that you've been listening to, or maybe before when does Tita Rose like play a lot of Filipino songs?
Before? She did, but I couldn't remember a lot. A lot of them are like Tagalog. Really old Tagalog songs. Yeah. There was this song called Bakit Pa that she used to listen to. It was like na 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 na. You guys know, right? Yeah. That's just a banger, bro. So
that's an all-time hit, bro.
Yeah. I definitely, and it's funny because Denny put me onto like what the lyrics were actually in that song, and I was like, yo, of course my mom was listening to this. She was a single mom. This is such a single mom song. It's like just this girl, you guys know, right? Okay, so they know. Yeah. It's definitely
Isang Linggong Pag-ibig. Is it like Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Rami na. Is it something like
Shit
that?
is a banger, bro. But I also have an appreciation for like JR.
Of course.
He was out, and again, like when I talk about taking the heat, like he was really early, like, just coming out.
He took it all, bro.
Yo, he had the braids in the video and everything, man. Shout out JR for real. But then, like, a lot of the modern acts, like, Al James for sure. Like, one of Manila Gray actually put me on to Al James.
Yeah.
And then I even told Al this, like, they put me on to Al James, and I was like, oh yeah, this guy's sick. And then I noticed like he was already featured on another record that I was listening to from Zach from out here. So like, and they had a crazy record. So like, yeah, I definitely fuck with him. Again, like, the usual suspects, Oside Mafia, Hev, like, definitely like the whole underground, like modern scene out here. I've been fucking with before. Yeah. But I'm trying to think, like, cause yeah, my mom definitely was singing all the like, y'all will probably know them. Yeah.
The Sunday music,
exactly.
Right?
Like if I heard it, I'd be like, yeah, I heard that in my house for sure. I heard my mom belting a lot of that stuff in the house for sure. Especially with the karaoke. We had a karaoke machine that had all the Tagalog hits. Like it was hilarious, just kind of like flipping through and like and it's funny too, like being here and being in like certain stores, and I'll hear these records and be like, oh my god, I'm hearing this in the wild right now,
in the flesh,
in
the Philippines,
for real. yeah, man. But it's cool, like hearing a lot of OPM stuff, man, and like just being put onto a lot right now. Like I think when it comes to ballads, it's like, I now understand why Scarlet's Weekend was such like a big record here, because like, it really follows that ballad, that, Filipino ballad structure. So I definitely want to write more records like that.
You get it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's everything, like in music and entertainment. It's especially in the Philippines. It's precious. It's everything here. Every entertainers here in the Philippines like puts their heart on their sleeves, and you can really see the passion.
Yeah,
you can feel the passion. And I just came from Dubai, and a lot of Filipino entertainers are killing it there. In some cruise ships, Filipino entertainers, plays the big roles. Even on Disneyland, bro, the dancers,
really?
Right? All this, the Lion King performers, these are Filipinos, and I just can't, wait till the time that the world is looking at us like K-pop.
Oh yeah, and it'll happen. It'll happen. I know it will, and especially right now, again, like seeing a lot of these artists hone into like what their style is and being unapologetic for it. I think that's one thing that we need to do. Be unapologetic, be very outspoken, and say like, tell the world like, fuck you, this is us.
This is
like,
us. Yeah.
The moment we do that, people are really gonna see. Like, and I meet so many Filipino with amazing taste. Like a lot of Filipino people got amazing fucking taste. Whether it's fashion, whether it's music, like we have fucking amazing taste. So I think if more of that taste that we have is showcased in Western media and just global media as a whole, like we're definitely gonna go far. Cause like, again, like being in America, if I walk into a lot of these rooms, it's always a Filipino guy in there. And they're probably the one handing a lot of people the game of the culture, and like we're researchers. I noticed that a lot of people here research shit. A lot of people here dig in the crates for like good music. A lot of people know B-sides out here, which I like love. I'm like, oh, okay, you guys are real music listeners over here. Cause that's like, I feel that'll take us to the top. Like really being like good fans of the music and respecting and like appreciating culture. Cause I definitely don't see any appropriation here. Like I see everybody here studies this shit. So I think if like we just keep on studying and we keep on being students of the game, but also being unapologetically like, fuck you guys, we belong in the game. It's no telling where we're going to be in the next 1 or 2 years.
This is our playing field. More of life and music after this break. Yo, shout out sa'yo. Sana nag-e-enjoy ka dito sa DOUGBROCK Radio Podcast. Kung meron kang comments, suggestions, o kaya wish na next na makausap at makakwentuhan ko, i-comment mo na dyan sa comment section sa baba. Huwag mong kalimutan mag-subscribe at mag-follow sa lahat ng socials namin, DOUGBROCK TV. Keep on winning. Yo, cyberspace. Welcome back to DOUGBROCK Radio, your favorite podcast. We're still with Russell here. Bro, I'm having a very good time right now. And,
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for doing this interview. I got a few more questions, bro. I'd like to know about how is Russell in... You said you don't like school. But, there's a lot of young artists who got support from their parents, but there's a condition. You do good in school, I support in your music.
Yeah.
You finish your school, I support your music. And here in the Philippines, because of the influx of Spotify, because of the influx of apps like TikTok and all these social networking sites, there's a lot also of influx of artists. Like every day there's a new artist. There's a person who wants to be an artist. Do you have an advice to them? Like, how can, they navigate, especially when they're young? How to balance things out?
Well, I would definitely say don't follow, definitely stay in school. I would definitely want to be the guy to tell people to stay in school. I had a different experience. I was definitely, and anybody that dropped out of school will tell you just stay in school. At least finish high school. High school. Get the bare minimum of that. And if you go to college, I would say, or university, I would just say college and university, within that, you could build your network there. That's a lot. A lot of people I know built their network from school. Going to school. Uni, because they met people with more of a common interest. So I would say that even if you don't want to go learn, just go mesh in with people, be social, talk to people, because it really takes a village. You got to build a team somehow. And if school can be something that really leads you there, then take the chance. That's free networking right there. Free like-minded networking too. People will be like-minded with you, especially when I think about how Toronto is. The university is in the city. You have Ryerson University literally in the city. So a lot of people go to downtown parties, or a lot of people, network themselves going to these places with like-minded people. So that would be a first, that would be one of my first points of advice. Find you some like-minded people, because it really takes a village. And you could do music, you could do the whole DIY thing, but if you're just doing it by yourself, you're just gonna be in your room by yourself doing it. But you got to find a good team. You got to find solid people that will really help you with this, because especially just when it comes to hopping into the music industry and being young, you can be really impressionable to a lot of stuff. Whether it's the money they give you, a lot of these managers and a lot of these execs will take you out shopping and do a bunch of stuff. And if you're dolo, if you're alone, that could really guide you to sign contracts you don't want to sign, or get into situations you don't want to be in. But if you have people around you to ground you, make sure your business is right, make sure that your mental is right within being a creative, then you're going to go far. Because again, I repeat it so many times, but it does take a village. You need good people around you. And then on top of that, I think too, just have fun. I think the business sometimes sucks the fun out of being an artist. You could have a lot of pressure on you in terms of just having an image, or a spiel about yourself. You do a lot of interviews and you got to say the same things a lot of the times, but you got to believe that, and you just have to I would say just really love what you do, because if you do, then you'll want to talk about it all the time. You're not going to care how many times you repeat yourself. That's how I am. I don't care how many times I repeat myself. I love doing this. I love preaching the word. You have to preach the word. You have to be here for a purpose. And again, one of the highest human acts is to inspire. Really be in this inspiring people. Of course, there's an influx of so many artists, but the strongest stay in this. The most influential stay in this. The people that really want to be in it for a bigger purpose than just being cool and getting clout. You know what I mean? Having people just listen to your songs. If that's the case, go make your 1-2 song, but the real artists are over here. We're really grinding. So really figure out your purpose in this, and have fun. Have fun with your purpose. If you're not having fun, it's why are you doing this? This is we're literally singing and rapping stuff on beats. That's it ain't no more fun than that, And
you're gonna gas out eventually.
Yeah. You'll definitely run out of steam if you just keep on looking at this as just a profession, solely a profession. And look, there's some instrumentalists that, you know, like you said, like are on cruise ships and like do stuff like that. But I meet some of those people sometimes and they're really just doing it for the love of it. And I have that appreciation for that, where I'm like, damn, like you don't even care how much money you make off this. Like you're just having fun. And I envy that. Like, so I just try to I think that's like a big point of advice that I have with a lot of people. Like a lot of artists come up to me and they just like want some game. And I tell them like, yo, have fun, dog. Like this is all fun at the end of the day. If you get to go on stage for 30 minutes and like get sweaty and sing a bunch of songs and hear people sing your songs back to you, like that's a fucking blessing. Yeah. Like that's so cool. And I think that that's something that people should manifest, like, when it comes to this stuff. Like, yeah, the money is cool and like I love making money off it, but like I also just like having fun because like I turned a hobby to a job. Like it's cool, like, you know. So like always just take it as that.
You're already blessed to do the things that you love to do.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like it's really like you gotta be grateful for that, man. And like really smell the flowers sometimes, because that's one thing in this industry that could like really get a hold of you, right? Like just being so into the business and being so into these moves that like you just stop smelling the flowers and having fun, dog. Like, but that's why I think I stayed in this for so long. So that's why I think I could tell people that point of advice. Like I can't really tell people what to do, like, you know, to the T. But one thing I could tell people is like, you'll really stay in this shit if you have fun and you fucking love it. Like I love this shit, dude. I'll sit here for another 8 hours with you and talk about this. Or I could be in that room over there for another 10 hours making records. I respect that, bro. You know, it's just, you know, I would like to wear my Mickey Mouse pants and have fun, dog. Like that's really what it is, man.
Okay. Can you like tell us about, definitely you look, I can feel that you're having fun. Yeah. I can feel the passion out of you, out of your art form, bro. But can you tell us more about like an unforgettable experience, maybe in recording, maybe in meeting artists like big stars, and maybe just, you know, what's the best performance that you did? Tell us more about it.
Yeah, I mean, well, one story I'll tell is, you know, the Apotheca show. Just like, you know, we had a couple sound problems and it was all messed up, but and we had to, at a certain point, we had to have the guitar leave the stage because it was just so much feedback going on, and like it was getting in the way of a lot of the performance. But either way, like all the fans out there, like they didn't give a shit. They were like, yo, we're having fun, bro. Next song, bro. Like let's go. And it just got to this point where the guitarist was gone and Scarlet's Weekend was coming up. And I was like, oh no, like we have to play Scarlet's Weekend. This is like the record that was out here. But thankfully, my DJ Mui, and shout out to Mui, like killed that show with me. Mui, shout out to Mui. Yeah, shout out to Mui, man. All that shit. But Mui had Scarlet's Weekend, just the guitar on his computer still. So I remember just running back to the DJ booth like, yo, Mui, do you have it, bro? Do we have Scarlet's Weekend? And just checking, and him just frantically going on the computer and finding it. And he was like, oh, I got it. And I was like, yo, just load it up. Let's go. And we played just like the track of Scarlet's Weekend. But everybody, like, I didn't even say that it was coming up. This first like 3 notes just hit the do-do-do-do. And everybody was singing it like word for word, bar for bar, to the point where we had to run it back. And like we ran it back twice, and it was like a big karaoke session with all of us. And it just kind of like moments like that I still soak in, like even like just this week, you know, having to extend my trip and just being like, yo, I had to make this trip. Like that had to happen. Like that, I made that song in my bedroom. You know what I mean? Like moments like that, you're like, yo, this was a voice note. Like you just realize like
you're living for those type of moments, bro.
Yeah, man. Like something like that doesn't happen every day.
Yep.
And like I'd be a fool not to just sit down and be grateful for those situations and like those moments. Cause like that's just something that's something I'll never forget. That's like that's real core memory.
Memory. Shout out to Mui for being professional and having those stems,
he saved my ass, bro. He saved me, bro. So like, and like on top of that too, like that crowd was like an award-winning crowd, because like they really showed a lot of people, like especially just people from outside, you know, like a lot of like my friends on like the other side, they were like, damn, dude, they fucking love you out there. So yeah, it was just a love that I'll never forget. And like, I want to do it again, man. I want to do it again with a huge ass crowd. And I know they're going to be just as fucking energetic. So that was one core memory. I definitely say a lot of the memories of like, you know, I met Prodigy from Mobb Deep, and like that was like somebody that, you know, R.I.P. him. Like that was somebody that just, I remember him looking at me and be like, yo, you're dope, bro. And like just dapping me up. The homie Bugs Baguettes, like he introduced me to Prodigy, and that was like, you know, Shook Ones. If you know Shook Ones, like that's like, you know, every rapper has done a freestyle to Shook Ones Part 2.
This people gave you validation back in the days.
Yeah, man. Yeah. 50 Cent. I met 50 Cent. And that was like one of those moments where I was like, mind you, like that was like, I was 9 years old wanting to be 50 Cent. And then 9 years later, I met him. Like, if moments like that, like sometimes I'll have like just my little like 1, 2, like, fuck, like this shit is so hectic, I just want to quit type moment. But then I'll just think about stories like that. And it's like, no, you're meant to be here. Like you literally bought Get Rich or Die Trying and had it like on your, you know, on your fucking mantle. Like you can't quit. You met this guy. You know what I mean? He shook your hand. He talked to you. Like in those moments, I'm just like, I know that I'm here for a reason. So I just have to keep acting upon it. And like, that's something I'll tell my kids. Like, anybody that ever feels like they need to like give up, like you'll have moments where it's like, nah, this wouldn't happen if I didn't just stick out for another 6 months. You know what I mean? So I definitely have those moments in my life. Like a lot of these moments of validation, like that's been a lot of this shit, just validation that I should just keep going and I should stay here. But yeah, definitely that Apotheca moment was like, yo, like, if I'm not doing this for the rest of my life, like I'm dumb as hell. Like I gotta keep doing this, dog. Like, cause the music really traveled all the way out here, and they showed me that love. Like I'm a foreigner, dude. Like I'm from Canada. Like I'm not even from here, but they were singing those songs back to me, like I was from here. Like I was like their brother.
That was a homecoming vibe.
Yeah, man. And like, you know, just hearing everybody come back to me, you know, just saying like, yo, that doesn't happen. You know, that really doesn't, especially for a foreign act, that doesn't happen here. Wow. So yeah, man, I'm just dumb grateful when it comes to it, bro. Like, and I just want to keep on like, I want to keep on making classic songs. Like really, really like it validated too, like the type of music I make. Like I got to just keep on making this shit, you know? Yeah. So yeah, definitely those moments.
Keep on pushing. You told us earlier about you know, thinking about, definitely you came across about quitting, right? Like, have you ever think about, oh, I don't want to like do this anymore, or I think the shit is done. Have you been in that situation?
Yeah, so many times.
How did you overcome it?
Yo, I mean, to be honest with you, it's like, it's kind of like realizing like I kind of gone too far, you know, like, you know, you kind of, those are the moments where I'm like running, but then I'm like, oh shit, okay, way too far now. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I just, I shake myself out of those moments by just like finding more purpose in what I'm doing. I've definitely had times, you know, especially in 2022, 2023, going through like you know, a really weird situation, kind of like leaving my label and like not knowing where things were going to be. You know, the finances slowed up a bit, and I was like, oh man, like I don't know what I'm going to do. And one of my, this is like kind of one, I won't go too deep into it. But one of my lowest moments I could remember just kind of being like, you know, is people on Billboard that have went up to me and told like, you know, they've told me like, you're the reason I do this. You know, you're the reason I picked up a mic and like, you know, went on my like fucking Cool Edit Pro or my Pro Tools and made music. Like really big artists have told me that. And I just remember kind of sitting in my room being like, all right, well, I did what I had to do, and being super suicidal, super depressed, and just being like, all right, I could just end it now. Like, it is what it is. Like, you know, I failed. I fell off. I hit the ground, and I'm at rock bottom now. The industry doesn't fuck with me. Like, these guys don't fuck with me. Like, But I did what I had to do, and I'm cool. And like I remember getting like drunk one night and just being like, all right, cool. Tonight's the night. Like I'm out. And then I got too drunk and I fell asleep. And I just remember waking up to like the cops and Kyle at my door, just like knock, knock, knock. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck happened? And I just remember sending like my friends these messages, like just being like, all right, like I'm out, you know? And yeah, I just remember like, you know, the cops had left. They were like, all right, cool. He's not going to do it. But I remember Kyle and I just sitting in my living room like, shit, dude, like we got to do something, man. Like we can't keep being in this position anymore, you know? And like moments like that, you know, like make me happy that I fell asleep that night, you know? Like I didn't end it, you know, but I had so many times during that year where I was going to, you know, so many fucking times. Like I really stood at the face of death, like with this shit. You know, and even, you know, talking about going to Boracay, just kind of being on the beach, and I had to sit there and be like, yo, if you didn't stick it out for another 6 months, dude, you would have never been able to see how blue as fuck this water is. Like, you would have never been able to feel this sand on your feet. So if there's anything I could tell any fucking artist, like, if you're going through that, bro, stick it out. Another six months. Just try it. Like, who the fuck knows what's going to happen, you know? So like I just had to really follow that, like just stay in it. Another week, man. Another week, you know. Like
bet on yourself again.
Yeah, just bet on yourself again and again and again. And like, and mind you, that was one of my lowest moments, dog. Like I really felt like this shit was not for me, but it was just, you know, getting so drunk to the point where I fell asleep, but then having to like be with one of my friends the next day. Like, all right, I'm here for a reason. I didn't do it. Still here. Might as fucking well just keep going. Like I have nothing now, you know. And I was saying I had a deep talk with some friends last night, and I just like I told them like it isn't anything anybody could say that's worse than the things I told myself when I wanted to kill myself. There's nothing anybody could say. I have like the thickest skin. You could give me any fucking criticism. You could give me whatever. It's cool. I'll take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. But it's nothing. You can never make me feel as low as those moments. Nobody can ever do that. So now I just feel like I just got this shit made of titanium. Like you just like I'm bulletproof, man. Like when it comes to this shit mentally. So like I definitely have wanted to quit so many times. I have texts where I literally have told my homies like, fuck this. I'm gonna be a video editor. This shit is whack. But then I don't know, just going to certain concerts and sitting in the crowd and just being like, nah, I could do better than this guy. Fuck this. Like, I gotta keep going. Like, what the fuck? So, like, I've definitely had so many of those moments. I probably had way more moments like that than any other artist. I've done this for 10 years. So, definitely, like, once a month, I think, like, I was thinking, like, of quitting, you know? But, again, you get these moments of validation. You think about the memories and just the fact that you've gone so far and you're like, fuck it, dude. Like, might as well. But like, I just have this delusion in my head. Like, I tried to off myself so many fucking times. I might as well just stay here. Like, yo, like the world and God and the universe have told me just fucking stay, dude. Like, and again, those moments like the one on the beach, I'm just like, yo, this is a reason why I'm here. Like, so I just got to keep going. Like, and it sounds really fucking intense, but it's like, I know for a fact, like I meet my fans and they tell me like, I stayed here because you did. So like, wow. I just got to keep going, man. Like, and I still battle depression till this day, bro. Like I still do. Like, I'm probably going to battle it next week. Like, you know, but it's all just like having to keep staying strong, keep like really being grateful for the love, smelling the flowers, like, really understanding that you're here for a reason. Like that's really what I preach now. Cause like, I don't want anybody else feeling the way I did. I would never wish that upon anybody. Mm-hmm. That's like jail and like suicidal thoughts. I would never wish upon anybody. I wouldn't want anybody to feel that shit. Cause like that shit is really like that rock bottom feeling is really like the fucking worst shit. Worst, yeah. But if you are in that position and you make it past, you did such a fucking good job. Like, so just fucking stay, bro. Like, and
even if you like hit that rock bottom, there's still a good thing about it. That's already the bottom. No other way.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, so this is the bottom. Yeah, all right. You know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
Fuck it. I might as well be as delusional as I possibly can to get me out of this, you know?
Yes.
But Yeah, man. I mean, I tell everybody I'm delusional as shit, dude, and I love it. Like that's one of my favorite traits. I like legit think I'm gonna be one of the biggest artists in the world one day, and like I don't care if anybody doesn't think that way, and I don't care what points they try to bring up to me or what criticism they want to bring up to me to make me think that it's not gonna be that way, because like. I'm here. If I had a USB-C cord and I plugged it into my brain right now and plugged it into a computer for people to see what I fucking saw, they'd be like, okay, you got to stay in this shit. Like, you really got to stay here, bro. Because, like, this is a lot of fucking shit. Like, you've seen and done, and, like, you can't turn back now. So, yeah, man. I mean, I could talk about it all day, but, like, I would just, if there's anybody fucking watching this, just, like, fucking, like, I'm going to validate it. Stay. You really know, you don't know what's going to happen, man. Like, so just stay.
Plus, it's better to play the game than watch others play.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Like, for real. Like,
you don't want to be on the sidelines watching other people do what you love to do.
Yeah,
you
man.
want to do it, especially if you know you're better than them.
Yeah, man. It's so unfulfilling. Like, when you know you love something and you can't get up there and go demonstrate it yourself, you know? But I would say just keep going, man. Keep fucking going. Even if you don't make it to the point where you thought you were going to make it, like something else is probably in the plans. You know, like you could be like, all right, cool. I won't be a rapper. And then you'll become a fucking R&B artist. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, I'm not like, you know, spitting bars on the block with the homies anymore. And like, you know, I'm not going to be J. Cole. I'm not going to be like Drake, but shit, I'm going to be Russell. Like, I get to make my own songs. Like, cool. I'm not going to follow this lineage I thought I was going to follow, but at least I didn't quit. And now I'm just doing music as myself and what I want to do.
I respect that.
Thanks, man.
Russell, can you tell us a story about like a Filipino hit you up when you arrive and then told you how impactful you are to their lives? Like, can you share something? Did you experience that? I'm sure you had a lot of experiences, but
yeah, we went to this release party. JK and Denny were out there performing, and I met a couple artists there, and they walked up to me and were like, "Yo, bro, you influenced me so much, dog. Like, I'm so happy you're here." Even JK walking up to me and telling me a story about how he like was really influenced off a song I made and he wanted to hit these certain notes that I was hitting. And that like really motivated him to like record some music and like shit like that. It's just like, it's so cool because like, you know, especially being on the North American side and going through almost like 8 to 10 years of people walking up to me, literally telling me I fell off and like I had it once and like this, that, and the third. But then coming out here and it's like the complete opposite. It's like somebody walking up to me and being like, nah, dude, like I respect what you did. It's just like that shit is like, again, man, like I feel like I have a responsibility, dog. Like I gotta keep doing this. Like I can't not be this voice for the people over here. If anybody could say, and I made a joke the other day at dinner, it's pretty fucking funny, but like I don't have a platinum record. I don't have a diamond record, but I'm really diamond in these streets as a fucking influence. Like I really impacted people. That's where my platinum is. I really impacted platinum acts. Like whether they're from here, from the other side. Like I really impacted some people. So if I could just keep doing that, like I'll be happy, man.
Those are priceless accolades.
Hell yeah.
Like, you know, seeing like people who do good and actually tell you that you saved them.
Yeah.
That you pursued something in them without you even knowing it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's priceless.
Did not know that shit, dog. I really did not know that shit. And it's just cool meeting so many artists here. Like even like outside of that party, just like running into certain artists or, you know, even meeting Superfly and like him telling me like, you know, the influence he's gotten off my records. I'm just like, dude, like this shit is sick, man. Like I gotta just keep on doing my thing, and also again being outspoken and really putting people onto shit and just like really doing what I want to do to the maximum, because like that really impacts people. Like when you take your job seriously and when you actually like go about this the way you need to as an artist, like really conduct yourself as a professional, because like people look at that and it rubs off on them. They want to be professionals too, and if I could just motivate more artists to be professional, then I'm with it, dude. Because we need some platinum fucking Filipinos on the stage, bro.
Facts.
So like, you know,
Not a long way soon, bro.
hell yeah, man.
I want to jump into asking you about. You said it takes a fucking village, to build a very good brand. If you're starting off, like, what is the top 3 traits of people that you have to have in your team?
Oh man, I mean, hardworking for sure.
Oh, yep.
You gotta have a hard worker on your team.
Mm-hmm.
You need honesty.
Yep.
You can't have yes men around you. You gotta have people that'll actually like tell you things. Of course, not dog at you and like fucking make you feel like shit, but just people that'll really be in it for your best interest to like tell you points of advice or just like certain things like, okay, maybe you shouldn't say that on a record. Maybe you could change this like chorus on this record. Maybe you can do this a little better. Like just people that are really listen to your shit and then be honest about it is like really big thing. And then I would just say like, honestly, like you got to really like the people that you're around. People talk about this friendship and business thing. Like, yeah, don't mix it. But like, I don't know. I feel like I got to be around people I would like really want to be a friend of and like have my heart into this shit with them. Because as much as it is business, like we're really building like something historic and legendary. And like you need people that like are as excited as you to do that. If they just look at you as a dollar sign or as a business connect, it's never going to go as far as you want it to. Mm-hmm. And like the biggest and best teams I've seen are like, Ludacris and his manager, like they're like best friends. You know what I mean? Like Drake's team, like they're all friends. Like, you kind of need that. You need that love there or else you're not going to like make a great product. Cause it's like, if you're just around people that only look at you as a product, it's just not going to turn out as personable and as awesome as you want it to be, especially if we're working in something where we're making art off of personal experiences. Like, you need a team that's like, that really loves you, Like, whenever I go through certain moments, you know what I mean? Like, I want to tell like somebody on my team, like, yo, bro, I love you, man. Thanks. It makes me feel happy because it's like, it really takes this village, but like, your village they gotta be motivated and they gotta feel like they're part of something.
Yes.
So like I just like a team that really believes in me and loves me. So like, yeah, sometimes you can mix the friendship with business, but like again, if you have the honesty there, you're able to just be honest about whatever. So even if you stop doing business, at least you guys were honest and at least you guys like still kept a good friendship. But yeah, I would say those 3 for sure when I look at it. Like, because I've been through having like a weird like team situation. You know what I mean? Like I've been through having like a team that maybe weren't people I would like hang out with every day, Mm-hmm. I've been through having like people in my team that didn't work as hard. Mm-hmm. But thankfully, like I'm the most thankful for the people I have around me right now. I think like I have the music and that's cool, but like I also for the first time ever like in life, in the 15 years I've been doing this, I feel like I have like a solid team. Like it's so cool. So yeah, shout out to them because like I'm super thankful. Like I've never felt taken care of like this like ever in my life.
Shout out to them.
Hell yeah.
Bro, can you give us more advice about the new artist that is trying to really make it, especially the ones far from Metro Manila? Because I believe here in the Philippines, it's very Manila centric.
Yeah.
The movement, the mainstream, the underground, it's very Manila centric.
Yeah.
But us at Urban Gathering, at TMP, we travel the Philippines and we're discovering bunch of talents from Cebu, Iloilo, Davao. And bro, seeing it firsthand, I never imagined that this is the Filipino fucking music that needs to be on stages.
Yeah. I would say just like, especially coming from a city where like not many people really knew about us. I would say, well, one, you gotta have the good music. You have to have good music. When it comes to good music and good product, people really don't care where you're from. Mm-hmm. They'll just like believe that you're sick. But I would also just say like the showcasing of where you're from goes a long way too. If you show people what you represent and what you stand for rather than like other than like yourself, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're sick at music, but you got to show people like why you are. And part of the reason why somebody would be great at their music is like the city and the influences that, that they've gotten. So I would definitely say like represent, like show people, you know, we have TikTok, we have all these social media outlets, like show people how it's like to live daily, like, you know what I mean? Like
whatever,
live a daily life in the place that you're at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you live on one of these islands, really show people like, nah, this is the life out here. Like I watch videos on YouTube all the time about different hoods, like all across the world, you know, like whether it's Compton, whether it's like going to, you know, Alaska has a hood, you know, but, and there are artists in these hoods, you know what I mean? And like, they gotta be showcased. Even some artists that go to like live in the suburbs, like
every place needs to be represented.
Yeah, man. I feel like, you know, you can represent yourself, but also like you know, you gotta you gotta be a representative of the area that you're from. And like that's one thing that has brought me to like at least somewhat of a forefront is like really repping where I'm from. Like I tell everybody I'm from Brampton. I tell everybody I live in Toronto, like, and I show that within my visuals, you know, I show that within content pieces. So I would definitely say like, you know, if people are struggling with that, like add it to your identity, you know, like really show these people like, this is where I'm from and I want to take this to Hollywood, you know? And like when people see that, it's just so much more of a story. And I think like building a story is something that aids a lot of artists, because then you don't get the industry plant allegations and all this other stuff. Nah, people know you, you know? So like, let them really, you know, take people into your world. This is all world building, man. Like you gotta like really, really build your world and let people see it. And if your world is living in, you know, a city outside Metro Manila, like show people what your daily life is. If it's not too much going around your city, show that, you know? Cause it's like, you know, people like a good story. Yeah.
That's a very good advice. And I think, there's no excuse anymore. Internet is available on all these social media platforms. You can just upload for free. And just build from there, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, again, people just want to see who you are, man. Like,
and maybe look for the like-minded people within that area.
Oh,
right?
hell yeah! Again, like what I said about school, right? Like trying to find people with the common interest, and like, you know, some people may not know as much as like of the music industry as you want them to, but like let them learn. You know, like you never know if your close homie from down the block could be a manager one day. You really never know. So just like build that foundation, build that team. And also like represent your city, because if your city sees that you're from there, they're all going to get behind you. Right. And it's like, then you're just out there representing so much bigger of a purpose than you having good music. Like so much more than that, right. You know?
Okay. Russell, in this generation of artists, what do you think are the like common struggle, and how can they like overcome it? Especially in 2024, there's, you know, every year there's a new struggle on every industry.
Yeah, I would say get out of your shell and get out of the way of yourself, because a lot of people and a lot of artists are very conscious, like almost too much of like, they want to preserve themselves too much. You know, I understand accessibility. You know, there's some points of it, like, you know, when it comes to my shit, like I don't go too deep into talking about my family specifics. You know what I mean? I'm not going to show people where I live or what the inside of my house looks like. But when it comes down to telling your story, when it comes down to like really, really having people understand who you are as a person and as an artist and what your purpose is, get out there and talk about it. Be very like, learn how to get out of that social anxiety sometimes, and like really get out the box, because like this shit is way more than music sometimes. Like you really got to represent something, and people may feel the same way as you. You'll never know that unless you preach the word and really get out there and talk. And I see a lot of artists nowadays just want to like stay in this bubble and not talk to anybody, and they just want to be like, oh, I want the art to speak for itself. But dog, like this is marketing. It's a product. Like, I'm sorry to fucking tell you that, but like this is coming from somebody that actually loves this and that has a real passion for what I do. I'm not like an exec or any of that. No, like I'm a real dude that can tell you like, get the fuck out of your shell. You know what I mean? Like, cause who's really gonna believe in you? You gotta tell your story. You gotta be out here really being outspoken, or else the next guy is gonna take your place. Who cares if you could sing the best? Anybody has talent, but who's going to be themselves? You know what I mean? So I would just say, like, get out of the way of yourself, speak to more people, and, like, really put yourself out there. We have social media. You don't have to necessarily dance on camera and do a bunch of shit that you don't want to do, but it's as easy as just like preaching the word or having a caption where you talk about something or telling people what's sentimental to you or describing your music anyhow, any way you could put out your product, market it. Because it's like, you have this free marketing tool. If you have a phone, you can't tell me that you have no way to put your music out. You know what I'm saying? You could put out a record today and it could hit an algorithm and then
Facts.
everybody will know you by tomorrow.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So like, just keep on being yourself and really talk about yourself and put yourself out there as an artist. Don't act out, but like, let people know what you're about. That's really what this is. Like, if you want to be the biggest artist possible, you're going to have to sit down at the couch on like one of these talk shows. You know, you're going to have to meet your fans at these meet and greets and actually talk to them, you know? And like, this is show business, man. If you don't want to be in show business, again, play at your local bar. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do it as a hobby. But when it comes to this shit, if you want to stay in it, get out of that shell, man. Like, that's what I learned.
Put yourself out there.
Gotta put yourself out there. Don't force yourself to do it. But again, like, understand your purpose in this and then
Explore.
Put yourself out there. Yeah.
My next question would be, do you have any rituals or maybe techniques before you perform or before you play a show?
I try my best not to one thing that I do now, but before I perform, that I notice that's like the greatest thing, like it makes the performance so much better, is just pretending like it's another day of work, and I don't make this big expectational moment out of anything, because anything can happen, right? So I just literally, let's go do it, hop on a stage, let's have fun, you know? And once that happens, it's like, even sometimes like I don't do the big prayer thing, just because like I don't want everybody to feel like this is an end-all be-all moment. We're going to keep on doing this, you know? But let's have a good show regardless.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do have a prayer, but to myself a lot, just because a lot of these moments are sentimental to my mom. So like, I'll kiss the little tattoo I have. I'll do a sign of the cross before I get on stage. But yeah, like, you know, sometimes I don't do the, if somebody suggests a huddle, like, yeah, let's do it. But like, I'm just very like, again, another day at work. Let's have fun. And, you know, is the DJ where the DJ is? Okay, cool. Is the guitarist where the guitarist is? Okay, cool. Do we have the mic? All right, let me get the mic. Let's make sure this is on. Front of house good? All right, cool. Go do it, you know? Because I've had the best shows like that. I've walked off stage sometimes like, what the fuck was that? You know?
Yeah.
Not really understanding. Like, we did a show in Vancouver, and I remember like it was a Lapu Lapu Day festival show, and we were all there, and my set came on. Like, we had to go on, and I just remember like it was too busy for any of us to get into a huddle or a prayer or anything. Like, we had to just get on. There was no line check. We had no sound check.
Wow.
Line check was like on the spot. Like, you just had to like hop up there and hope for the best when it
And
came
it's
to the
just
sound.
what, maybe 2 minutes.
Dog. Like, it was fucked. And we were like, all right, fuck it. And like, I remember my DJ came up to me, and he was like, so are we doing a line check? I was like, nah, dude, you're just going to have to go wing it up there. He's like, fuck it. Let's have a great show. All right, see you up there. Boom. And like, we went up there, and that was probably like one of my top 5 best shows.
Wow.
Like, it was fucking insane. Like, that shit was actually insane. And I just remember like, you know, just kiss the tattoo, do a sign of the cross, and do your thing.
And just be ready.
Yeah, yeah.
And have fun.
Yeah, man, for real. That shit was so much fun too. So like, you know, sometimes it's even funner when you just don't expect shit and you're like, all right, let me see what this is, you know?
What's your thought process in writing a music? Or making a music?
I mean, I'll write sometimes. I'm a fast writer, so like I just like to vibe and like really like get a good energy. I like in-house stuff with producers because I just get to know the producer, and especially just being around a lot of producers, I understand the nerdiness behind it because I'm a fucking nerd too.
Yeah.
So like I like to, what I'll do is like, especially like even what we did today with the song with Illis is like just jumping in there, making a skeleton of the beat, recording what I can on it, and then just leaving the producer to do what he wants to do. Because you got to leave trust on both sides. So that's what I like to do, like a balance of trust on both sides. Trust me with these vocals in the song, and I'll trust you with the production. And like, that's kind of how I do it with Kyle. Like Kyle and I work like that too. I'll just give him the acapella and he'll go the fuck off. And it's like, it's just sick hearing the contribution from both sides because that's really a collaborative effort.
It's the best it's really collaborative.
Yeah. So like that's kind of how I run it, and I like giving the producers time to shine too, because it's like that's where you get the best records, because it's like both people are holding up their weight. So yeah, man. Shout out to Kyle too, man. Like really teaching me that process and putting me in. You know, I had to get that 10,000 hours when it came to my vocal chops for sure.
Shout out to Kyle and to all Filipino producers, engineers, audio engineers.
Yeah,
amazing people.
For real.
Trying to put out music out of their KRKs, Scarlett.
Hell yeah, man.
AUD whatnot.
Yeah,
shout out to you guys. The OPM, the Filipino music, the music in general worldwide is here because somehow of you guys.
Yeah,
shout out to you guys.
Shout out to the producers, man, for real. I hang out around a lot of producers too, so I got like a deep appreciation for people behind the boards always.
If you don't have a gig, how is like, what does it Russell days looks like?
I be smoking weed, going to the gym,
smoke again.
Yeah. I like cooking. I'm big on like just like I'll go ride a bike outside and just feel like the wind. Like I just like outside. I'm like a big outside person. Like when I was a kid, I just always used to just ride my bike outside with my friends all day. So like I just like kind of hanging out. I mean, I'm a big person on music, so I'll just like plug in my music and go for a walk. Like I'm really simple like that. I'm dumb simple. I mean, I love cats. Y'all got Gotti up in here today. I was having a fucking blast with Gotti over there.
Shout out to Gotti.
Yeah, shout out
Gotti. The cat of TMP.
Hell yeah. So I'm really into cats and shit. I want to get a new cat soon. Yeah, man. And like, I love movies. Like I'll be hanging out with my homie Danny, and like, we love watching movies and watching concerts. Like I'm a big concert guy too. So like, I like just going to concerts and being in the pit and like watching artists. I think like, it contributes to my job. Just kind of like learning more crowd work and learning things of that nature, but just feeling like the energy of other people in a room that understand and like the same artists that I do. Like I love shit like that. And again, just like kind of like hanging out around the city. Like I love being from Toronto because like you could just go ride the streetcar and like, take a walk down King Street and just like walk and like admire buildings and hang out, get a patty or something and like just chill and, just loiter. I'm big on loitering, actually. Loitering is a big pastime for me. If people know, like, loitering is like a very Brampton thing. Like from where I'm from, that's like a lot of the artists really get a lot of inspiration from just loitering in a parking lot all day and talking to the homies, because like you'll just get all these fucking topics for songs
and maybe
shit.
Working out of your phone and just playing music and then just sending emails
Hell
and loitering.
Hell yeah, dog. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, those are my favorite pastimes, man. And honestly, like I'm like you could ask me to go play mini golf and I'll go. I'm down for anything. That's like one thing I love about myself too. Like I'm just down for anything, bro. Like
let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Like I've been trying to fucking go to the pool hall with the homies during my visit here too. So like, just things like that. Just hanging out and loitering. Great pastime.
Russell, I can say that you love your fans. You're also a fan of your fans. You listen to people. You get inspired by people. You get inspired by events. You're a good businessman. You're a brand. You represent yourself very, very well.
Thanks, man.
You have an amazing team right now. Just being here, meeting you for the first time, and knowing you from the internet, it's a privilege for me. I know you're leaving after a week, and you're coming back real soon. You're planning to do a tour here in the Philippines to maybe put up a bigger concert.
Oh, hell yeah, for sure.
But I'd like to ask, what's your message to your Filipino fans and to all your fans in the world? Like everybody who fucks with you.
Yeah.
In your deep pride era. Now that you're Russell.
Yeah. Well, off top, I just want to say thank you. Like it's very, very it's very cliche, but I do want to say thank you. I mean, I'm incredibly grateful for like everything. Just landing here And again, not having any of these expectations, but just seeing like the love, like seeing people got today. Like I saw like a kid got sweet, like I tagged Sweetheart, like I did a little throwy on his shit, and like he tatted it on his arm. Wow. He came to the Apoteca show, and like I just want to say like it's no other fan base I ever see that's this dedicated. So I'm always going to be grateful for it. And there will be times where maybe I'll be a little blind to it. I'm a human, you know, sometimes I'll get jaded, but I just want to say, like, for the most part, I will never, ever, like, not practice my gratefulness when it comes to this. Like, I'm always going to be grateful. I'm always kind of like, I love entertainment, but I would not be an entertainer without the people. Like, my last song on my album, Dearly Loved, is called I Be Nothing Without You, and it's really dedicated to my fans, but it's very true. Lil Wayne says it on stage every night, but like, I would not be shit without you. Like, and it's very true. I wouldn't be shit without the people supporting me. I've been doing this for 15 years and still have majority of my fans with me still. Like, till this day, even though I took shit off the internet, even though like I had to rebrand myself, they were like, nah, dude, do you. Like,
we're still gonna be with you.
Yeah, like, we're still gonna be here, make us proud. And like, I think that no other people have fans like that. A lot of these artists are like mad at their fans sometimes, and they like treat them like they like just treat them with this like superiority complex of just being like, yeah, I'm the guy you guys love. But like, for me, I never want to make it feel like that. I just want people to understand, like, and like almost like see me as like their homie, their brother. Like, I'm gonna just keep making you proud. Like, that's really what it is. I really do think about the fans. Like, people want to say like, oh yeah, shout out to my fans, love you guys, and then like they'll be like, you know, oh, okay, the show's done, let me go fuck some hoes. Like, I don't really, you know what I mean? But nah, for me, if I can walk out of the green room and go see some fans and take a picture and like, you know what I'm saying, take my little 30 minutes to an hour to just hear these experiences, like, I'm going to take it. Even my team knows that. Even my team knows, like, all right, are we going to do a little meet and greet at least? You know, they see I want to get that time in, because, like, I'm really fucking grateful. I would really not be shit without these people. I did that show at Apoteca, and everybody sung. Everybody. Like, even the top floor. You know what I mean? Everybody was singing these words. Like, if I'm not going to be, like, if I'm going to take that for granted, I'm a fucking idiot, you know? So, shout out to you guys. I'm always going to work hard. And there's so much more on the way. I got 10 years, however long I'm going to be living for, I'm going to be making music. So, you know, stay tuned for sure.
Shout out to you guys. Your message to the rest of the, all the artists that looks up to you, all these people, now that you're trying to bridge, now that you understand that you think you have a purpose in pushing this. Yeah. You know, just be with the movement. Like, what's your message to everybody?
Oh, just like, honestly, like, this ain't for play. Like, I'm really doing this. I'm really showing this passion for entertainment. And if it's anybody that like that's watching me, just like, no, you're gonna just get the best shit out of me all the time, because I really love this shit, and like, I love the people. And I like being on a stage. I like being in the studio. Like, I actually really fucking love this shit. So if it's anything y'all are gonna know, is that I love this shit, and I appreciate you loving me as much as I love my craft.
Wow, well said. Where can we listen to your music? Where can we find you?
Well, search up Russell everywhere. Got my SEO up, so you know I'm one of the top results. Shout out. Yeah. But yeah, search up Russell, like, you know, on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and you know, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the other stuff is Russell is Lovely. I'm sure, you know, y'all have like the whole nine, but yeah. And again, like, if anybody's ever confused, just search up Russell. You'll find me.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for your time, and
thank you.
I appreciate you a lot. We're gonna do more things. Shout out to Adi here. Shout out to my brother Bobby.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to everybody. You know, I miss doing this. I miss doing podcast. I've been off on this shit for 6 months since last year, but I'm back. And thank you. Shout out to everyone who's supporting DOUGBROCK TV. Shout out to everyone who's been listening and, you know, watching DOUGBROCK Radio podcast. Shout outs to all the artists, and shout outs to everybody pushing or OPM. Yeah. I'd like to see you more. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at DOUGBROCK TV, Facebook, DOUGBROCK TV. Subscribe on YouTube, DOUGBROCK TV. And yeah, see you again next week.
Peace.
Keep on winning.